Well, howdy everybody and welcome back. The room is done. So, new Tchaikovsky content is here. And also I'm probably going to be meandering around the room just so that way you guys get different angles. This is the corner with books. The books on actually theology, not music, but besides the point. Anyway, today we're talking about chords of sequence in the major scale. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So the very first thing that we need to know is that today is a rule day, so I hope that you're all ready to learn these rules, and none of them necessarily I would consider necessary. However, they're going to lead to the best practice of which Tchaikovsky was aiming for, one, and two, they actually do make for very sonorous voice leading. So let's go ahead and jump into those rules. So rule number one, it's that the fifth of any seventh chord that we have is going to need to lead down into the fundamental of the next seventh chord that we have. This is a bit of an aside because we may not think of it this way, but essentially Tchaikovsky is talking about sequences as a series of dominant sonorities moving to tonic sonorities. So any of these dominant sonorities, even if they aren't actually a dominant seventh chord, have to have their fifth moving to the fundamental of the next tone so as to create a re-do type of sequence. Next rule that we need to incumbent upon ourselves is that we are going to have thirds often that are going to be unresolved, meaning that the third is going to keep moving as if though it is a oblique tone. And really this ties into our next rule, which is that all of these chords, when they're moving from the dominant to the tonic functioning, should have two tones at bare minimum, and probably will only have two tones because of obviously the sonorities we're dealing with, but should have two tones of which they stay in oblique motion, so that way the others may move in contrary motion to one another in the most ideal situation. Really, that's all that there is for today, because with the example we'll see how they're going to be used and illustrated, but all we need to know with these sequences is that they really can appear anywhere so long as they follow this dominant tonic function, and also so long as they're giving us a sense of harmonic movement that doesn't necessarily indicate a cadence. And that's about it. So we can jump into our example. So in the example here, you're actually going to see me working through all of the sequences, but in a way that I'm just double checking after the fact that I'm following the rules that are indicated earlier from the treatise. And then also at the end, you'll notice that I make a specific kind of voice movement that's a triumphant soprano with very awkward, potentially, spacing between the altos and the sopranos, or really the rest of the voices in the sopranos. And in the end, I didn't do any connections of the voices because it would create syncopations that would probably distort the essence of the sequences. So in the meantime, here is the example. With that, we're done for the day, so I hope that you enjoyed. I'm going to be talking about something in my next video that has to do with today because it's chord of sequence in minor. So I hope that you're ready for that, and other than that, peace.